Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, a program full of insight and information related to bass tournaments with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend. A show dedicated to making you a better bass fisherman with one-on-one interviews with winning anglers. Your host, Kevin Jean, Territory Manager for Sportco Marketing, who's no stranger to tournament success. An avid angler who understands how to compete at a high level. Daiwa and Camus Boats Pro Staffer, Steve Graff, a successful angler in his own right, who continues to pursue tournament-winning stringers. So, get ready to take notes from two knowledgeable anglers here on Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Tackle Talk Live. I'm Diver Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with Territory Manager for Sportco Marketing down there in Lafayette, Louisiana, Mr. Kevin Jean. Kevin, tell you what, man, fishing's definitely still heating up. A lot of tournaments going on. The end of this was we wrap up. March is already come and gone almost.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to believe.
It is, Steve. And yeah, I mean, a busy weekend to say the least. Probably the busiest weekend with both lakes combined, Toledo Bend, Sam Rayburn of the year. I mean, Saturday, the Poche tournament on Toledo Bend, probably going to be around 300 boats. You have the Federation Nation tournament on Toledo Bend this week. I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if I'm correct, or Friday, Saturday. And then the Fishermen National Championship is this week on Toledo Bend. So 3 huge tournaments, Toledo Bend. And then you go over to Sam Rayburn. We've got the Texas Team Trail on Saturday and the Outlaw Outdoors tournament, which was postponed, I think, from January, February, to Sunday. So, wow, big weekend for both lakes this weekend.
Yeah, just a lot going on. And I don't care where you go. Like, I've got some at Lake of the Pines this weekend. I found out yesterday there's a big high school tournament on Saturday. There's a team event on Saturday. There's 2 or 3 club tournaments on Saturday. I'm like, good gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and you know, especially a lake like Lake of the Pines, on these smaller bodies, what Toledo Bend, Rayburn, you can kind of go one end to the other, do different directions, find your own area, and not be too pressured. But you go on these smaller bodies of water with that many events going on.
Right.
Oh man, it makes it tough, very frustrating. You have to try to, maintain your cool about getting cut off or whatever, but it makes it a little tough, especially on those older guys. I don't have the patience I used to have anymore. But anyway, well, today, again, we got Wyatt Frankens coming on, and a great guest. Looking forward and a very successful angler, somebody that knows Rayburn as good as anybody, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, we've been focusing pretty hard on Toledo Bend just with all the tournaments coming up. And look, we're still going to talk about Toledo Bend today with the Poche coming up. Yep. But we haven't talked Sam Rayburn and really dialed into Sam Rayburn lately. So get Wyatt on, kind of talk about the Texas Team Trail. I know he's had a lot of guide trips over there the last week or so. So kind of dive into how Sam Rayburn's fishing, what's going on with Sam Rayburn right now. I know the Valero tournament this past weekend, it took a 9.5 pounder to win it. And the Average Joe tournament, I got the results. I forget what it was. It was over 20 to win it, but weights were not great. So yeah, we're going to dive into Sam Rayburn with Wyatt, and we'll talk some Toledo Bend as well.
Yep. We'll visit with we'll talk about the expected turnout, I would think, for the Poche tournament.
Yeah.
And again, kind of that in conjunction with the Fishers of Men Nationals. I know Bert's supposed to make an appearance at that banquet, and encourage those guys that I think after 2 days they have a cut. They don't make the cut.
They cut to top 20 or whatever on Saturday. So all of those guys have been there practicing all week. Bert's going to try to get some of them to come over and fish the Poche on Saturday. So
right. And I'm going to tease this just a little bit. Some of you may have already heard a flip of the coin at the 2027 Classic. Interested in what BASS is looking at possibly doing for the Classic, Kevin. We'll talk more about that. Just kind of let people, just a little quick tease there. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. If they go through with this and follow through with what they're looking to do, all with a coin flip, man, I tell you what, that's going to add a little intrigue to the 2027 Bassmaster Classic, which I believe is on Lake Hartwell this next year. So, all right. We're going to take a quick break, recognize a few of our sponsors. When we return, we got the man, Wyatt Frankens, Mr. Sam Rayburn. We got him coming on next. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll be right back.
A good marine dealer is hard to find, but a great dealer is even harder. But in Iowa, Louisiana, there's a marine dealer that falls into the great category. Power Implements Marine, South Louisiana's go-to dealer for all things related to the boating industry. A Minn Kota, Garmin, and Mercury dealer, guaranteeing you first-rate service in both sales and repair. A great selection of new and used boats to choose from, including Skeeter, G3, Ranger, Camus, and Go Devil. A knowledgeable staff that will treat you like family and are always willing to go the extra mile to ensure you walk out a happy customer. To see everything they have to offer, go to powerimplements.com or stop by 606 East Miller Street in Iowa, Louisiana. Plus, mention Tackle Talk Live and save $500 off a new or pre-owned boat or $50 off your first service ticket. Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Nothing is worse than being sick on your family or fishing getaway. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in the hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your health care needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6 just south of Toledo Town, or call 318-508-5323. Very few stores are a complete one-stop shop, but Cypress Knee Outdoors is such a place. A store within a store. Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's four-way. Whether you need gas, food, drinks, or bait and tackle, they have it. Cypress Knee Outdoors carries top-name fishing brands like Strike King, Sandtone, Spro, and V&M. Crappie jigs from Bobby Garland. Need hunting gear? They have it. Ammunition from rifle to shotgun shells. Deer scents from Buck Wild and Doe and Heat. Deer stands from Titan and feeders from T-Hanger. Cypress Knee has it all. Located off I-49, exit 127, just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana. So stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors and let John Abram and his staff show you everything they have to offer. Or give them a call at 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in today. We appreciate you. This segment presented by the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches. 2 locations, one in Broadus, Texas, as well as Nacogdoches itself. Also, Toledo Health Clinic, Cypress Knee Outdoors, Shimano, and Power Implements Marine, located in Iowa, Louisiana, as well as our latest and newest sponsor, Lost Frontier Park on Toledo Bend, right there on, did I say Penn?
Yeah,
Toledo Bend, right there on Carice Creek as you cross over into Texas. It's right there on your right. Great people, great place to stay. So check it out. And a great restaurant. Yeah. All right, on the Tackle Talk Hotline, we've got the guy that has, Kevin, probably one of the most respected anglers in this region when it comes to Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend, just overall great angler, Mr. Wyatt Frankens. Wyatt, how you doing, bud?
I'm good, man. How are y'all?
We're doing good. Doing good,
Wyatt. Hey, so we've been talking Toledo Bend last several weeks, just, with the tournaments that's been going on over there. So we wanted to kind of come back to Sam Rayburn today. And so as soon as we said, all right, me and Steve talking yesterday, we need to talk a little bit more about Sam Rayburn. Instantly, your name come to mind. We talk to you every year. So just kind of, man, wanting to get a Sam Rayburn fishing report. We know you've been fishing a lot of the tournaments over there. We know you've had some guide trips, and then I know you're fishing Texas Team Trail this weekend, so don't want to have to get any of the good juice here, but get some information for you on Sam Rayburn and how you think it's fishing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, Rayburn's in, it's in pretty good shape. The lake's been really low all year, and we finally caught a few storms and got a little bit of rain, so it has come up. I think it got all the way down to 9.5 foot low, maybe even lower than that at one point. But now I think it's approaching that 8.5, maybe even catching some more water than that. So, the lake's on the rise. And one thing that I'm, really excited to see is a lot of just new growth. Even if it's just some bank line growth and there is some hydrilla and some milfoil in certain places coming back. And, not what I would consider just a lot of it right now, but it's nice just to see it coming back. And, you know, I know a lot of people haven't loved the lower water level, but I think it could be a good thing in the long run if it stays low long enough to get some of that new growth coming back and getting healthy. And because no matter what, whether you're fishing offshore or not, you know, healthy vegetation in a lake is a big deal. And that's one, you know, me personally, I've seen Rayburn fish the best. It's always had healthy vegetation, and it seems to be the same way over at Toledo. You know, that lake, anytime it has really healthy hydrilla, you see a lot of great big bags. So overall, I think the lake's doing well. We're in a kind of a weird time frame. You know, every year you get around this March time frame, and you start to see you know, fish spawning, obviously, but then you got post spawners already, and you still got pre spawners, so you got a lot of fish doing a lot of different things. And I think that's exactly the phase we're in, because I've seen, you know, quite a few post spawners already that I've caught, and seen balls of fry and stuff like that. So definitely some fish have already gotten up there and done it. I still think there's obviously multiple ways of fish yet to come, and probably still coming as we speak. So it's just that time of year, man. You got fish in all different phases, which is honestly awesome because you get to see guys target different groups of fish and fish all kinds of different ways, you know. And it really opens up weight-wise, I think, to where you can compete with that, you know, lower 20-pound range. I mean, we've had a lot of tournaments over here recently, and you haven't really seen those great big bags. You know, now given some of those are non-forward facing sonar tournaments, but even in our BFLs, our Toyotas we've had over here, you know, that lower 20 mark has become a very, very, you know, significant mark. You know what I mean? So,
and Wyatt, let me ask you about that, because that it has been that lower 20 is I mean, you possibly could win it no matter what it is. And there's not a lot of vegetation in the lake. But, you know, I was over there about a month ago, and I fished the Outlaw Outdoors tournament. And yes, the lake's low, which has, to me, it has really, really grouped everybody up more so than in the past, because the lake's low. Guys this time of year are trying to fish ditches and, you know, into the spawning flats and things like that. Hasn't been a whole lot of fish, winning fish caught offshore. So, you know, again, this time of year, it's putting people on top of one another so bad. And I think that's affected it a lot.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Absolutely. I mean, you know, pressure every year on Rayburn's obviously a topic of discussion, and
but when you have bushes and things like that, you know, people fishing,
right,
you know, vegetation, bushes, and then you got some guys that's out that 10 to 12 feet. You just haven't had that option, and that's what I saw the weekend that I was over there.
No, that's right. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's definitely bunched people up, and we've had a significant amount of tournaments as well. And you know, that when you've got people bunched up and it's constant like that, you know, obviously that's going to affect things. Now, Triple T being this weekend, and they do allow forward-facing sonar throughout the entirety of the event. I mean, you've got a shot to see one of those.
Oh yeah.
You know, bigger bags, obviously, but you know, if you look in years past at Triple T events or Bass Champs events, this time of the year when fish seem to spread out and are doing a lot of different things, you do see low 20s, whether forward-facing sonar was allowed all day or not.
Right.
You've seen people get out of there. I know Corey Rambo and Rusty Clark won a Triple T one year with like 21. Me and
I think
Shane
that was 2 years ago.
Last year. Yeah, me and Shane won one last year, the year before with 21 or something. Like, it happens. Especially when you have some weather in the mix, which we've got coming Saturday as well. We've got strong northeast winds on Saturday. So, you know, I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, here's another thing that's kind of a concern of mine is not just the low 20s are winning, but the number or the lack of 20-pound bags that are coming in the last 2 or 3 weeks has not been, I mean, we're talking in each BFL, one bag over 20 pounds. And you're like, okay, what's going on here? Why all of a sudden? Because January, February, man, they were knocking it out of the ballpark. over there. And all of a sudden now we're just one bag out of 88 anglers over 20 pounds. I'm just like, that's a little alarming and concerning for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you're right. The BFLs have been that way because I've been close to winning a few of them.
I'm fixing to say, 2 weeks ago, you were right up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been like that. Like, I think Cole, he won the first one, which somebody did ever, that whole story. But see, I think he won it with below 20. But also, like, man, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I'm just being honest with y'all. I think it's good for the overall tournament. Like, no, it should be good for the tournament numbers.
Participation.
Like, as far as
encouraging guys to come out and fish. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing, and I think the reality is like I think we've just taken for granted how good a 20-pound day can be.
Right. No, 100%.
That's a 4-pound average. That's a solid day.
Oh, heck yeah.
And so, then don't get me wrong. Like I said, Triple T, we might see one of those, big bags. But,
yeah.
Every week in and week out, I don't think it's great to see 40 and 35.
Oh gosh, no.
Well, also too, Wyatt, I remember going back, what was it, 2014, 2012, or maybe 2010 when the lake was 8 or 9 feet down like this before. I remember when it came back up, the amount of hay grass was insane. Do you foresee that happening again?
Yeah, it definitely could. There's a lot of different kind of new growth growing on the bank right now. Some grass, I don't even know really what it is. It's really green and nice. Or I'll be honest, I don't really know the name of it, but it looks good, and I know they would love to use it if it comes back up there.
Yeah, you're looking at a 10-day gain of 5 inches that Rayburn has come up. So, when it comes up like that, you're going to have all kind of new growth. But let's talk a little bit more fishing here. What you have seen. Well, I'm assuming you've been on the lake this past weekend or something. I know you didn't fish any tournaments, but you're off limits this week for Texas Team Trail. But I'm assuming you've been on the lake here pretty recently. Without giving anything away for you and Shane this weekend, what are you seeing kind of fishing techniques that's happening around the lake?
Yeah, man, like I kind of alluded to it earlier, there's just so many different things going on. So it's really wide open. Because you've already got some post spawners and you've got fish already feeding on shad. Like you can, and I don't want to just say it's a shad spawn, but I mean, I don't think it's kicked up that quick, but there's definitely fish. Like you can go around shallow drains and stuff and see fish blowing up, and like large numbers of fish, big groups of fish up there, pretty shallow. And so yeah, I really still feel like that mid-depth range is gonna end up winning. Like I feel like that range where you've got pre and post spawners using that same kind of water, I think that's gonna be, probably your win, in my opinion. Like I could see a team that wins that has pre and post spawners in their bag,
right?
And which is pretty typical. It's pretty typical. It definitely happens. I had a client catch one almost 9 a few weeks ago, and that fish was post spawn. And just giant head. I mean, the fish was just built like she was a freak, but she weighed 8 3/4 where she should have been, Lord knows how big. But so I think some of them really, really big ones, which I've always thought some of them real big ones get up there and do it quick, and get done. So, but yeah, I really think that like,
say for instance, the set on Sunday, the outlaw tournament, no entry. I mean, no forward facing sonar. Those guys. To really be able to compete in that, it's going to be kind of in my opinion, you're probably going to you're looking for your post and pre-spawn fish that are kind of coming and going in the same areas, some points and that things, maybe some Carolina rigs, things like that off the bank a little bit. I'm assuming is what's going to play here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And obviously being able to use forward facing sonar is going to be, significant in that.
In Saturday, not being able to use it on Sunday, those guys will have to target.
Yeah, no, Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. Sunday for sure. Yeah. No, those guys, well, and, some of the grass that's growing out there that's, still coming back. I mean, there's fish in it, like, and there's good ones there. So I'm sure some of those guys are going to take advantage of that as well,
Yeah.
So it's crazy because even some of that grass that you can literally, when the sun gets high and you can see with your eyes, like, and it doesn't look that great. I mean, there's fish in it.
What's the deepest grass you
So
found?
Mm,
Deepest water.
man, not very deep.
Yeah.
Couple of feet. I'm sure there's some guys out there listening right now like, well, I found something 4 or 5 foot, and then maybe they have, but I don't know if it's just like a significant amount. You know what I mean?
Right.
And,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for me personally, like the way that we have to, well, at least the way that I believe that we have to fish to win, I don't really look for much of that. Now, if it was growing healthy and beautiful and was growing deep and stuff, absolutely we'd be up there. But for how I feel like we need to fish to win, like I just don't spend a lot of time looking at that, if that makes sense. So
why what to win this tournament? Are we looking at probably a minnow, or are we looking at a swim jig, or are we looking at crankbait?
It's going to be 4-face sonar. I mean, it's going to take 4-face sonar to win this thing.
Which one of those three would be the biggest player probably in this event?
Man, I really think utilizing 4-face sonar, obviously, but I really think it's going to be more of like a slower presentation, potentially like a Nico rigged worm.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the dive style baits you've seen. Minnow's always going to play, but
dragon rig.
This time of the year, yeah, these fish get a little weary on certain baits and stuff, and so I really think like a soft plastic and a little bit slower presentation might do it.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
we'll see.
No.
Yeah, as you said, there's going to be some changes come weekend. I know y'all have practice on Friday, and that's going to, with the way the week has gone, I know it's going to be a lot of changes since all of you guys have been able to be on the water. With straight sunshine, bluebird skies we've had all week, a lot of fish gonna move up and spawn and be gone by the time y'all get out there, and some new ones are gonna be coming up. If the wind was to allow it, I think there would be some sight fishing, even though the water's way down. But like you said, there's supposed to be some wind blow in, so it's gonna make some things interesting for you guys over there Saturday and for the guys Sunday. I think things are going to change daily. And whoever makes those right decisions come game day by using their 4-face and sonar on where to go could definitely win this event.
Well, Wyatt, does the east wind, you talk about an east wind. I know I'm going to Lake of the Pines, and east wind over there is absolutely almost a death sentence. So it's almost impossible. It makes the fishing tough on Pines for some reason. And it does at a lot of places, but does forward-facing sonar, does the east wind have that big an effect on those kind of fish?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a northeast wind, so I mean, it's going to still have some north in it, and like your Veach and Five Fingers Coleman side of the lake will be protected, but the other side will be getting like it's not light winds. It's going to blow for pretty dang good. Like it's got some strong gusts, and so like your Caney side and all that over there, it's going to be gassing on that stuff. So, it really affects it more so because of that. Like you're limiting water right off. There's already
which you don't have.
below.
Yeah, they say which you don't have.
Yeah. So. Exactly. And so, yes, I mean, the wind obviously makes it a little tougher. And like I said, I still think somebody's going to crack them. It's
30
because you're allowed to use
30?
it all day. And I think it's definitely possible. I don't think it's easy by any means.
Right.
But I think it's possible because if somebody was to land on a pre-spawn school or post-spawn school and they're eating and they land on them, man, I mean, yeah, 100% they could do it. But I don't think it's easy to do.
Right.
So I really foresee, like, if I had to bet my life on it, I mean, I would say probably your mid-20s range walks away. Mid to upper, like 25 to 27.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know how it is. I mean, we just saw Cole and then weighing 43.
So I was fixing to get there with you because you and Shane, I'm assuming, are fishing the whole Texas Team Trail.
Yeah.
So the first one, and y'all, if I remember correctly, you and Shane had a pretty decent bag for that first one, right?
Yeah.
So
we had like 20 and some change.
Yeah. So were you there Look, it's 43. You know, where? Give me your thought process. Did you see it? Did you see them weigh it in? Look, it's Cole and Cody. I get it. Nothing is off the table. But dude, we're talking 43 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't get to see that bag in person. I told Shane when we were going away, and my scale said we had, we were going to have a little over 20. And I'm like, dude, we're about to get our butt kicked today. And he's like, you don't think we're going to check with 20? I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, these boys over at Toledo do not mess around. Like, 20 just does you no good in certain events over there. And then when I saw that, which I had a buddy, Jace Lindsay, was leading the event with 35. And when I saw that pop up on the board, I was like, yeah, he's probably got it, And Jace is an extremely good fisherman. And then I saw Cole and Cody's weight pop up, and I'm like, and Shane looked at me because he was looking out on the Fishing Chaos app. We were driving home. And he said, are you ready for this? And I said, don't tell me something stupid. He said, 43. And I said, no, you're lying. Like, I had to have him show me the phone. And then I thought it was Cole and Cody. I'm like, okay, wow. But 43, I don't think some people realize just how
that's insane.
Like, me and Shane have came close to weighing in 40 over here. Yeah. And we had 39 and a half. But to make the jump from 40 to 43 is ridiculous. Yes. It is truly ridiculous.
We have been spoiled. You are right. I think Cody several years ago, and you fished that tournament because I fished it when Cody weighed in 42.
You're talking over an 8-pound average.
Oh yeah, I mean
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
almost 9. But yeah, we are a little spoiled. We see the high 30s. We see a 40 every once in a while between Toledo and Sam Rayburn. Dude, 43 is stupid.
Ridiculous.
It's
and it really goes to put it into perspective what Danny and Brian did.
Oh, absolutely.
They weighed almost. They had 49.32, I believe, and that is just no forward-facing sonar. Just ridiculous, man. And like when you talk about these weights we've had over the years from Rayburn and Toledo, like you can go all around the country and they just don't see it.
No,
absolutely not.
Do that. Like, it's truly ridiculous, honestly.
Toledo Bend probably right now. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the Bassmaster list. If it's not number 1 this coming year, I don't know when they'll ever be number 1 again because Toledo Bend's as good as it gets.
No,
right
Toledo's
now.
Gonna be up there.
Yeah,
it's gonna be way up there. It's just a matter of if they put them smallmouth fishers over it or not.
Yeah, exactly.
But that place is ridiculous.
The one thing about the 43 pounds, and I think there was 30 bags over 20 weighed in y'all's first Texas team trail, Wyatt, is the one negative on this is those guys that maybe this is the first year the fish TTT or to kind of step into the class of fishermen that tournament is, and their first tournament, they look at this and go, holy crap. Are we out of our league, and does it hurt the turnout? I mean, let's just be honest, dude. It took what did it take 18 or 19 to get a check?
Yeah.
Now I get it. Toledo Bend was on fire and it was stupid, but it's gonna make some guys kind of sit back and go, I'm doing no good fishing this.
Yeah, I can't compete with that. Yeah, that's what they're saying. I can't compete with that.
Yeah, I think maybe. Man, we just to those guys, I'd say, man, we hit Toledo Bend right on the head in that one, and you'll see the weights be a lot more reasonable here at Rayburn, I promise. And then I say that when we'll see, but then if you look at the rest of the schedule and you kind of like watch where we're going, I mean, it'll be a lot more.
Right.
At the end of the day, you take this group of guys anywhere, and they're going to show.
They're going to catch them.
Somebody is. Yeah, they are. They're just extremely talented, and I truly believe we've got anglers here, like from the Sam Rayburn Toledo Bend area, that they never go try to maybe make it to the elites or the BPT. But I think if everyone had the resources and the time, and you were to put our group of anglers out against others in the country, you would see multiple guys make it from our region. So,
absolutely.
They really are talented, man. They really are. I got a lot of respect for a lot of those guys, and
even more talented here on our lakes.
Every weekend.
you know, it's
100%.
you can put them on any lake in the country and they're going to catch them. There's about 8 to 10 of you guys. I'm putting you on that list, Cole and Cody and Shane, and we can go down. I can probably name the 10 that can compete anywhere in the country, and y'all have, but you guys on your home lake is even that much better, you know, and that's what makes it hard to compete with you guys, as y'all are so good and on your home lake. Man, it's tough. It's tough to compete. You know, it really is. But you know, as you said, we all hit Toledo Bend on, you know, y'all hit the nail on the head, no doubt, as far as timing and everything else. So you know that one's going to be a little bit different, but I think it will. I think it's going to take 28 to 30 this weekend, just because of the you know, the type of angler you guys are going to have. And I think Rayburn it potentially could get right a little bit this weekend with a lot of the weather changes. So I think it can show out a little bit this weekend. But I will say this, it might take 28, 30, but I think the check range is going to be way down there. I mean, maybe 13-ish even.
Yeah, 100%.
Wyatt,
100%, it'll be down there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, Wyatt. Enjoy these times right now, because one day you're gonna be the old guy like me, and you're gonna be looking at these young bucks coming up and how they're kicking your butt later on. You'll be like, man, what happened? Because that's how I feel now. I know like Albert Collins and Dickie Newberry, and I mean, look, it didn't get better than those two guys, and all of a sudden they're struggling.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Albert's not even fishing anymore, but Dickie's still competing.
Right.
And I'm telling you, man, when you're beating guys like that on a consistent basis, and not just beating them, I'm talking just, it's just a beat down. I mean, it's not like they're losing by ounces. These kind of guys are getting, and these are great anglers that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I see it already. I mean, I'm 30 now, and
oh heck, you're old.
there's a lot of guys out there, man. Like, you look at the past two classic champions, for example. You take Easton Fothergill and Dylan Nutt. I think they were both 22 and they won it. Like, do you know how many 16 to 18-year-olds are out there that you have no idea who they are, but they are ridiculously talented with their electronics or whatever the case may be? Like, they're coming, and they're coming by the day.
Yeah.
So
Peg South is one of
but
those
I love
kids,
it, man. Oh, Peg South's ridiculous. That Jace Lindsay kid who I just mentioned, he's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He truly is. He just went over to Cedar Creek. He had never been there in his life. Bass Champs does not allow a day of practice anymore. So he had never been to Cedar Creek, no practice, and dropped 26 and got third and won the Skeeter bonus, like, by himself. I mean, those kids are truly ridiculous.
It's insane.
So,
well, Wyatt, man, what's if somebody wants to go on a trip with you on Sam Rayburn, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, man, my Facebook page, Wyatt Frankens, and I've got a guide page, Wyatt Frankens Guide Service. Message me on there, and I will say right now it's really challenging. I've got a lot of tournaments coming up, kind of out of the state here for a few weeks, but the summer is probably one of my favorite times to post spawn, like getting into April and May, and of course the splash is coming up. So, you know, if anybody was reaching out for some help with that, I've always do that every year. So, yeah, man, just reach out on my Facebook pages, and I'll get back with you.
Good deal. Good deal.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Deal.
Good job by Wyatt, man. He gives some great information there. It's always good having him on just to talk fishing. I mean, he's just one of those guys you want to sit around a campfire or
very
stand
knowledgeable,
around.
very knowledgeable about the whole industry.
Yeah.
Not just Rayburn, but everything that's going on. Interesting, Steve. You know, that the lake came up 5 inches and there's some growth up there that he said that's in the water. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. The sad part is we don't have any rain scheduled anytime soon. I keep waiting on us to get those wave of rains to kind of slowly get these lakes back up. But now some of them are back on the fall again. And I'm like, golly, just when we thought we had it going in the right direction. But I don't know. I'm getting a little concerned, Kevin, for the summertime. If these lakes don't get some water in them, we're going to have some problems. So, but anyway, hopefully that'll change. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got some tournament results. We got lake level reports. We're going to talk about what's coming up next. We got a lot going on. And so we'll be right back. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local fishing guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guide for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. 2 locations to serve you in both Nacogdoches and Broadus, Texas. Or give him a call at 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live. This segment presented by the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches. Need home, health, auto, boat, whatever you got. Hey, whatever your needs are, they can take care of it with the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches. Also, one location on the lakes or the shores of Sam Rayburn at Broadus, Texas, right there. Also, Toledo Health Clinic. Not feeling well, got a hook in your hand, whatever. Need break a leg, break an arm, whatever it is, they'll take care of you right there at Toledo Health Clinic. Cypress Knee Outdoors, John Abraham and the gang stocking everything, a crappie or a bass fisherman would ever need. Shimano, Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana. And Kevin, they got a little activity going on down there. They got a lot of stuff happening. I know I had a couple of friends of mine that have actually made the trip down there to this location. So what happens if you walk in the door and you say, hey, I watch Tackle Talk Live?
Steve, instantly it's $500 off the purchase of any new or used boat, or $50 off your service ticket, any work you have done right there at Power Implements Marine. So make sure and tell them the guys at Tackle Talk Live sent you. And Steve, they are a sponsor of the Poche tournament. So I believe I know they will be there this weekend and should have a boat or two, a couple boats there. So stop by. Look at check out a couple of the boats. Hey, say, hey, we hear about you guys every week on Tackle Talk Live, and I'm sure they can hook you up right there with a deal or with if something you want to look at in the future. But new Vexus dealer, they have new Vexus on the lot as well.
Which is a pretty hot boat right now.
Yes. Check out their website. Great website with some really great deals on some boats. So check out their website for full inventory list.
And also our newest sponsor, Lost Frontier Park, back under the original management of Chase Collins and his family. Great place to stay. You got cabins. They've got an RV park, everything you could ever want in an RV park, or you got a restaurant. They got a huge swimming pool, really nice brand new swimming pool. Again, lakeside beach with bungalows right there on the point. 3-boat launch ramp. There's so much to do right there. And they got, again, the restaurant, the food is outstanding. I eat there all the time. And so if you're planning a getaway, looking to maybe you got something coming up at Easter, hey, make reservations. Go to 409-404-9972. Again, call 409-404-9972. That's Lost Frontier Park, located on Carice Creek on the Texas side of Toledo Bend. All right. And also there, the housing, their official housing site for the Fishers of Men National Championship, Kevin, which actually is this weekend.
Yes, it is. Yeah, there's, as we alluded to, Steve, there's a lot going on Toledo Bend this weekend. Toledo Bend will be a very, very busy place. Everything should be full. So, Federation Nation, Fishers of Men National Championship, Poche, one of the biggest ones of the year. I mean, does Poche hit 300, Steve? There's a lot going on.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to look up his past result. He's been at 275 to 300, I believe. He's been close to Despino. They've been in a very similar category as far as number of boats until this year when Despino hit the 367. So I'm sure Poche's hoping for the same kind of results over there with Bert and Shelley. I'm sure they're hoping for the same results this weekend. Hopefully they'll get the same kind of numbers. But the problem is there's a lot going on outside of their deal and may hurt their numbers a little bit. Hopefully not, because there are a committed group of people that fish this tournament every year.
There are. And now look, it's going to be 83, 84 all week.
Yeah.
Saturday's the high is only 70. It's going to be a little cool snap that morning, 54 Saturday morning, high of 70. Winds, as Wyatt talked about, It's northeast at 10 to 15.
So does the front come through Friday? I assume Friday night.
Yes, Friday night. So it'll be 54 Saturday morning. The high Saturday is only 70, and then that night it gets down to 49. Now Sunday it jumps back up to 80. So
Right.
there will be a little cool snap on Saturday. Now I mean high
Yeah.
is 70, but that northeast wind at 10 to 15 on Toledo Bend can
They get
can
hairy.
get pretty choppy.
Yeah, you can almost add 5 miles per hour, whatever they say it is. You can probably add another 5 to that. And,
at least 5. But look, man, I hope people support it. It's a great tournament for a great cause.
And it's a trailer event too, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It is a trailering event.
That helps it a lot.
They do a great job with it. I have fished it. Oh man, I probably fished that thing 4 or 5 times. Just I wish I could make it this weekend. I'm not saying I'm out of it yet. I might can still make it. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna be able to or not. But great tournament put on by some great people for a great cause. I hope they get 400 that show up for that thing.
All right. Let's see here real quick. Average Joe. I've got the results from the Average Joe, and we'll get to the Real United results in just a second. Kevin's got those. Let's see. First place, Bradley Atherton and Dustin Gunstream. They came in first. They had 20.74. They had a 781 kicker. And let's see, second place, John Hamilton and Kevin Ransom. They were second with 19.67. Third place, Mike Bennett, Justin Morales. They were third with 19.41. Fourth place, Blake Steptoe and Brian Landers. Again, they were, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't have the numbers there, do they? Maybe I need to expand my. There we go. Now I can see. They came in fourth with 19.15. Killed a lot of 18 to 19 pound bags, even going down to 10th. It took 17 pounds, 1790 to get, let's see here. That was 10th place. That was Jace Green and Cheyenne Odom. And to get the last check I have is 25th. Rusty Young and Josh Horton. They had 5 fish for 15.35 to get $200 check. So I'm not sure if I only paid the top 25 or not, but anyway, that's the last one I've got on my sheet. And and again, I think good turnout by Average Joe. This is always a really good tournament too. It keeps all you guys off all you big winners, and it keeps some of these guys out of those events and gives a Average Joe, Kevin, I guess, a shot.
Yeah. No, I mean, it does. I mean, there's, a reason for this tournament. Stephen, he always has a good turnout every year. So they're going to continue to do it. Now, Saturday was a Valero tournament, Valero United tournament, Steve, that it was an hourly event, which we missed that last weekend on the show. My apologies to those guys. Clint made sure he called me afterwards and made sure and tell me I was wrong. But so again, it was an hourly big bass tournament. I want to do the junior and youth leaderboard from that, Steve. So the junior leaderboard, the winner was River Gunstream, had a 3.40. He won a rod and reel combo. And then the youth leaderboard, Kinsley Brantley with a 4.56. She won a real rod and reel combo as well. The overall winner of the tournament was Dwight Abshire with a 9.45, which cashed him a check for $9,000 total.
9-pounder?
9.45.
Holy cow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Fishers of Men Northeast Texas Division. This is Brandy Branch results. Top 5 were Bart Doty and Craig Lawless. They had 22.86. Andrew Harp and R.W. James, they were second with 19.92. Chris Hawks, Shonda Hawks, they were third with 18.69. Dusty Duncan, Mike Ratcliffe, they were fourth with 18.38. In the top 5, fifth place was Tom Ward, Jim Crawford with 18.15. So congratulations to all those guys. I'm trying to think what the I don't see the Fishers of Men Texas East is on April the 11th coming up on Toledo Bend. That's the next Fishers of Men I see. The next Lake of the Northeast Texas will be on Lake of the Pines. That division will be on April 18th. So, but again, good turnout. Once again, both these organizations, the Northeast Texas and Texas East, both of them do a great job. They got great turnouts for both these circuits.
Yeah, Steve, and I just want to remind everybody, the Elite Eight tournament will be coming up. I want to say it's May. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Um, like the first weekend in May, I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay.
Let me make sure here. But look, if your club has not got registered yet, guys, I believe there's still time to do that for the Elite Eight event coming up in May. There we go, Southern Bass Club Association. You can go check out their Facebook page, Southern Bass Club Association. It's April 30th, May 1st, and May 2nd. Go to the website, check them out. For bass clubs, you top 8 guys go fish that coming up. So don't forget about that event. You got to get registered for it.
All right, real quick, some upcoming tournaments for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Well, till the end of March. Dylan Kyle Poche this weekend on Toledo Bend out of Cypress Bend. Also this weekend, Elite Outdoors Team Series on Lake of the Pines. Also Elite Outdoors Solo Series on Lake of the Pines on Sunday, March 29th. March 26th to 28th, Toyota Series is actually, those guys are up on Grand Lake up in Oklahoma, and a bunch of my friends are up there fishing that. Good luck to all those guys. March 26th, 28th, Fishers of Men Nationals right there on Toledo Bend, as we've already covered that. Sealy's going this coming weekend. They're headed for Gunnersville for their kind of kick off their Sealy Big Bass Splash Series. And April 3rd through the 5th, Bassmaster Open will take place on Norfolk Lake, Arkansas. So up Norfolk Lake up in Arkansas. So and then we'll get into April next month, and so kind of get a lot going on. April's going to be busy too.
April's going to be busy. Some kind of keynotes there. Fishermen Texas East Division comes back to Toledo Bend. So they had a record turnout, their first event at Toledo Bend. So they're coming back on April 11th. Then, of course, you got the Sealy Big Bass Splash coming up April 17th through the 19th. So, it'll be a really good, interesting April for sure.
And lake levels, the lakes, some of them are still a little bit on the rise. Toledo Bend is one of those. It's actually at 168.82. It's 3.18 feet low. They had a 10-day gain of the last 10 days of 4.92 inches, 24-hour gain of 0.12. So water is still coming in the lake from the Sabine River. Sam Rayburn is at 156.14. It's down 8.26 feet. They've also had a 5-inch gain over the last 10 days and 0.24 gain in the last 24 hours. So another one, you got the Atoyik, and what's the other river that feeds that? Forgot which other river, but I know the Atoyik. So anyway, water's still coming in up there on Sam Rayburn. Lake of the Pines, 227.86. Now this one here is kind of going back down again. It's 2.14 feet low. I was there yesterday. All your cypress trees that are along the bank, they're all dry. I mean, to go up and flip bushes and flip trees, that ain't going to happen. There's just not enough water in the lake right now. They've had a 10-day loss of 0.6 inches, 24-hour loss of 0.12. I don't know if they're pulling water or not, but Lake Fork is at 400.07. It's down 2.93 feet, right at 3 feet. 10-day loss of 2.04 and a 24-hour loss of 0.36.
That's not good for us for Lake Fork to having lost, Steve. Unless they're pulling, which they're just going to come through Toledo Bend, we're going to pull it straight out of there too. But we need, for Toledo Bend, we need Lake Fork. Now, Toledo Bend's not that bad. I mean, it's still 168.8. Right. It's still gaining. So if we can get to 169 for Toledo Bend, that's good. Yep. I know for all those Cypress Tree guys and people like that, they sure do want 170, 172. So we're probably not going to see that April and May. I don't see that happening. But yeah, for it to be losing, have a 24-hour loss, 10-day loss, that's not good for Toledo Bend people.
Okay, Kevin, we teased at the beginning of the show the flip of the coin for the 2027 Bassmaster Classic. I want you
There's
to
a
toss.
lot into this, Steve. There's a lot.
There is. What BASS is looking to do, because they had more tournaments with forward-facing sonar in this year and this season. They're looking to balance that out by maybe possibly making the Classic no forward-facing sonar for 2027 on Lake Hartwell. Hartwell will host the Classic in 2027, or they're possibly looking to flip a coin, or give the anglers a choice on the first. It's a 3-day event. The first 2 days, the anglers could possibly have a choice. They have 1 day they can use forward-facing sonar, day 1 or day 2. They pick. Or they might flip a coin, say, okay, guys, day 1, everybody uses sonar. Or nope, day 2, you use sonar. Day 1, you don't. Whatever. Then on the final day, whatever they decide, they may flip the coin for the final day as well, no or to use it. And we'll see. I don't know. It adds a lot of intrigue to it, Kevin, a lot of interest. And of course, I could see, after 2 days of the Classic on stage, making a big deal out of flipping the coin. Will we use it tomorrow? Or will we not use it tomorrow? Here we go. Flip the coin. And I can see a lot of drama with that, a lot of, promotion and,
I can see that side of it. See, there's a marketing aspect to that.
Oh, absolutely.
But could you imagine being an angler and preparing for an event like this?
Yeah.
Man, you talk about headache.
Yeah, and that's you bring up a good point. Do you plan to not have it? Is it better to fish practice without it and get used to that? Or and say, well, if I get to use it, I know what I'm going to do if I get to use it. But
do you?
Yeah. How do you scout?
That's the problem.
How do you scout?
You have to do both. You have to take time to practice both. Of course, you have to practice without it and figure out what you're going to do. But when you get it, when you can use it, you need to know where the fish are going and coming from. You need to know which pockets. You have to scout with it also to be able to compete at that level using forward face sonar. You have to practice with it. Now, I don't mean you're out there making cast, but you are looking. Your practices. You're going in and out of pockets, trolling motor down, looking in the timber, so on and so forth, looking where you have to do it. In this case, it's Hartwell. You have docks that come into play. You have all kind of drains. You got some deep spots. They probably will be there in March, so it will be pre-spawn. So there's a lot that could go into that.
Well, and it's just my opinion. I just think this kind of plays into the hands of the younger anglers, because if it is allowed, even for the older guys, these younger guys can adapt to that. They can turn that sonar on real quick and figure some things out quicker than a lot of the older guys can. So I think it's an advantage for the younger crowd if they end up getting to use it, of course, because they're just quick to figure things out with it. They're used to. Me and you pre-fished our whole life, with a rod in our hand. These guys sit behind the steering wheel for days and never pick up a rod to scout. It's amazing to me the difference in how scouting has changed from one generation to the next. And it's a different ballgame. I saw the Dylan, who won the Classic, Dylan Nutt. He talked about how many hours he did trolling and idling for 3 days. Never even picked up a rod.
Yeah.
Kevin, that's beyond my thinking.
You don't have to. Now, look, when the whole side scan, down scan thing happened, I would have days on Toledo Bend where in practice, I wouldn't pick up a rod. I was idling, but you still have to put in your time of that idling to find out, all right, are they on the outer points, inner points, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Same thing. You have to, but with this, you have to be on your trolling motor, which takes a lot more time. But
before, until they restricted their transducers,
right,
they were sitting behind the steering wheel then.
Yes.
And,
I get it. The marketing side of it could be interesting, but man, for a fisherman, this is a nightmare.
I would agree. I would agree. It would definitely, every day would make it very interesting. If they one day you can, next day you can't. I mean, it would make for I think it would draw a lot of interest, and I think that's their goal. They're trying to get more interest up.
Right.
And but anyway, all right. So we'll talk, and they're not making any decisions anytime soon. They're kind of waiting to see how this season goes and how it plays out before they make it'll be October, November before they probably make any kind of decision on the Bassmaster Classic.
Right.
And but anyway, something to pay attention to. All right, Kevin, you got anything else?
I think that does it for me for the day, Steve.
That's all I got. And hey, thank you for tuning us in. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you looking for a way to watch us, you can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. However way you listen to a podcast, you can find us. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, please message us on our Facebook page, and Kevin will make sure to send you a detailed packet. For Kevin Jean, yours truly, Steve Graff. We appreciate you watching this week. We'll see you next week with more Tackle Talk Live.